Good morning, Matt Yari again. Aren't you excited for these fucking videos? Hell yeah. Nippy on this morning. I'm on my way to my BNI meeting. So I'm going to chit-chat with the little BNI community. And then after that, have a one-to-one with one of the new members of the chapter, who also kind of works in the senior care space. So I'm going to get to know him a little bit. And right after that, going straight to this other networking event. A lot of networking today. So that's how I'm going to get my day started. And then after that, I'm going to drive around and do the usual marketing, hitting up my spots, dropping off pamphlets and stuff. So that's going to be most of my day. Back is feeling a little bit better, but still not great. Pretty tight this morning. I have to do my marketing, gonna hit the gym, and I don't know, see what I can do as far as exercising my back, get some movement in. Every time I work out, my back feels better. So I don't know, getting those muscles activated relieves some of that tension. But it's getting better day by day. Unfortunately, probably won't be good enough to do any jiu-jitsu for at least a few more days. But that's all good. Again, just going to keep lifting weights and try and do some yoga maybe. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be good enough to do some yoga. I don't know. Anyways, that's all I really have to say for now. Oh yeah, and then later, after all of that, comedy and a podcast. Flip that. Podcast and then doing some comedy. So it's going to be a nice, long, busy day. Plenty to do. And that's it. I want to find some time to sit down and write. I have really not been good about staying consistent with that habit. I did sit down and do a little bit of writing yesterday, but I just need to make sure that every single day I make sure to open up my Google Docs with my stand-up material and just, work on a couple of bits, touch them up, maybe come up with a few new tags or whatever. And that's that. So, that's my check-in for now. We'll see how the day goes. Peace. Alright. I am finishing up my marketing drop-offs for the day. Hit a couple of doctor's offices, facilities, stuff like that. I'm just leaving a rehab facility that I've been hitting up for like 2 or 3 years now. Never really been able to break through. And I came real close, I finally got past the front desk. Was almost able to set an appointment with the social worker that I'm trying to actually meet with, but she wouldn't answer the phone, so didn't get that appointment set, but whatever. I have a name, and it's more than I've been able to get thus far at that particular facility, which just goes to show you the power of persistence. Just keep showing up, keep trying, keep shooting your shot, and see what happens. So, gonna keep doing that. Gonna keep hitting up different places and adding new targets to my list. And that's just how the game goes. Earlier this morning, like I said, I went to my BNI and then went to a networking event. And going to the networking events, I think this was, as good of a performance as I had at any one of these. I'm just getting more comfortable there, seeing a lot of familiar faces, and again, it's becoming less of a mystery. It's, you show up, you smile, you shake hands, you talk to people, and see what happens. And then I also had a conversation with a friend of mine going through some very difficult times. I used to manage Airbnb properties, and I hired this kid. This kid, I don't know, he's a couple years younger than me. Just a few years ago, I hired him and his girlfriend at the time to basically help me take care of the properties, the cleaning and the maintenance, and he stuck around with that company, and he was working with them and maintaining their properties. I left and started my own business, got into senior care, and they, as far as my understanding from what he said, he was doing really, really well. They were, seemed like he was doing big things, and they were expanding, and a lot of projects that he was involved in. And unfortunately, it sounds like they've fallen on some difficult times. Seems like he kind of got screwed over a little bit, and that's very unfortunate. But it was good to hear from him. I haven't spoken to him in a little bit. We'll exchange a couple texts here and there. And I hope he's going to, I believe he's the kind of guy who's going to be able to rebuild and get back up on his feet. But it was tough to hear that. It's tough to hear that, according to what he said, that he basically just got screwed over by a bunch of people. Did some work for him, and they never paid him. So yeah, it was hard to hear that. That's been my day so far, and I'm about to go and get in my workout. My back is not feeling great, so I'm just going to see what my body's capable of and just try to push through it. And I may have to schedule an appointment with a chiropractor or something, just to see what I could do to see if there's any lifts, any movements and exercises, things I could do to keep my back strong so I have to deal with this kind of bullshit again. I don't know, some preventative workouts. That's about it. So that's what I'm doing right now, and then later, like I said, podcasting and doing comedy afterwards, and then we'll go from there. So that's it. Peace. All right, just got done with that podcast. Had a really good time. We spoke to a gentleman by the name of Carlos Parisi, who is a local kind of entrepreneur and podcaster, and I found it to be a very inspiring conversation, actually. He's a local, I guess they started doing like chips and salsa, and they've been doing pop-up food events, and just hearing his story, and he's doing some stuff on social media. So that was fun. It was just interesting to talk about him and his story, and definitely saw a lot of similarities. So that was really cool, getting a chance to talk to him. And right now, I'm picking up a friend, and gonna come and do some comedy. Going out for open mic tonight. We'll see how that goes. I may or may not add the clip to this. We'll see. But that's it. That's where I'm at. Oh, the other thing, unfortunately, so we did that podcast with this chips and salsa guy, and he obviously brought a bunch of chips and salsa, so I smashed on that. Whatever, it happens. Not gonna be perfect, but just have to get back up on it tomorrow. So that's that. Just want to throw that out there, and it's been an interesting day. That's it. Waiting for my friend, and talk soon. Peace.
This next guy brought most of your audience tonight. He's hilarious. Give it up for Matt Yuri! Thank you, Niles. What's up, Common Pub? Hello, everybody. Yeah. Are you waving hi or goodbye? Okay, all right. Hello. All right.
So I own a senior care agency. Yeah, take care of old people. It's an interesting line of work. I get weird requests. The other week I had an old man beg me to warm up his buttocks. Like begged me for like 4 minutes straight. You know, and I'm like, that's not really part of my job description. That's not the weirdest request I've gotten. I've had a lot of old people ask me to kill them. Right? Which puts me in a weird spot, you know? Like, do I commit murder? Or do I give them bad customer service? Gotta weigh the pros and cons. Jail time versus a 1-star Yelp review, right? Priorities. That's cool. All right. I think that's why old people move to Florida. They're just hoping a hurricane takes them out. You know? Jason Brent like that, but he also likes laughing silently, which is it's a little rude, honestly. As a comedian, you know, if you're gonna laugh, let it out, bro. Holding it for yourself. Selfish. Okay, alright. So when I first started masturbating, I didn't know what to do with it. You know, I didn't have a good disposal strategy. No one teaches you how to masturbate, right? I used to just finish in my underwear. I just threw it in the laundry. So I figured my mom wouldn't know what it was. Right? How did you guys used to masturbate? Anybody? I want to share your...
T-shirt.
A t-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay. It's even harder to explain. I don't know.
Yeah.
You just put it in the laundry too?
Yeah.
What's your problem, Mom?
Yep.
Okay, nice. See, that's a man's man right there. Remember when I was a kid, I started experimenting with swear words. Adults would be like, "Do you kiss your mother with that mouth?" I was like, "Yeah, but she's been kissing me with the same mouth that's been blowing my dad." I think that's a lot more disrespectful, you know? Better not hear a word from that bitch.
Oh my god.
Trying not to be sexist. But I've never heard two of my guy friends ever talk about a story where one of them got in a passive-aggressive fight with his therapist. It was a fun ride over here. Yeah. That's good. That's a good time. I feel like I'm very in touch with my feminine side. Like I like listening to a lot of rap, right? When I listen to rap, I feel like a gangster. But I also like listening to Dua Lipa when I want to feel like a sexy chick. You know? Like my masculine side is very disappointed that I could never play professional football. My feminine side is very disappointed that I can't twerk. Don't have the ass for it. I tried. Doesn't work out very well. That's just for me though. Okay. I'm bored with all that. What else do you want to talk about?
You gotta do some squats.
I do lots of squats. It doesn't help. I appreciate the input. Is that how you do it? Is that how you do a lot of squats and you shake the booty? Okay. Is that how you do? Is that how you twerk? You squat to twerk?
I don't know how to twerk.
That's how I got the shape I got.
It's sex to work.
What's that?
That's how I got the shape I got.
Yeah, I got a weird. I'm shaped like string cheese. You know, on my body. I have no ass. I'm very cylindrical. There's no donk. It's just tubes. Right? That's how my body is. You know. Yeah, that's fun. I wrote this joke about Al Qaeda. But then spell check changed it to Al Quesadilla. I thought that was cute. I don't support any war against Al Quesadilla. They seem like good people, right? Should make peace with them. Bring some guacamole or something. You know? You agree? Alright. Guy in the mustache agrees. Okay, any last comments from anybody? Time's running out.
So you still an underwear guy?
Still, my technique has evolved. I'll have you know. Since I was 12 years old, I first discovered how my penis worked. You know, learned some new things. I still make my mom clean it up. All right, that's enough. My name's Matt Yari. Have a good night, everybody.
Matt Yard, everybody!